What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dre Sense, and well, we got a little bit of a review, a little bit of a discussion. You know how we do it here on the channel. So what we got for you today is 7 men fragrances from my collection that I think are really good choices for a man much like myself that is in his middle to late 40s. Now, these fragrances are, for the most part, inexpensive, and by inexpensive I mean none of them are $300-400 fragrances. Most of them are still relatively easy to find, and they're not going to break your bank. Now, before I get into this, please do me a favor. If it's not asking too much, would you please consider liking this video? Let's go back just a little bit. There we go. Liking this video, sharing this video, and if you haven't, by all means, please, if you feel I've earned it, give your boy a sub to the channel. Now, the first one that I want to talk to you about is from the house of Burberry, and it is Mr. Burberry, and this is the EDP. I prefer the EDP to the EDT. They're both really good, but I like the EDP just a little bit better. Give myself another little spray here just to remind myself of it. Now, again, I think this fragrance is good for a man in his, well, any age, but definitely a man in his 40s, late 40s or 50s. And here's why. When was the last time you heard somebody talk about Mr. Burberry, the EDP? Or Mr. Burberry, period? Or Mr. Burberry Indigo, which is one of my favorite summertime scents. Precisely. This is one of those fragrances that came out, had a lot of fanfare, and now people have just forgotten about it, and you don't hardly hear anybody talking about it or hear anybody wearing it, but that still doesn't mean that it's not a really good fragrance. And I think it is. It has a little bit of a leathery, inky type of vibe running through the bottom of it. It opens as a very fresh type of fragrance, but then quickly dissipates from that freshness and moves right into a smooth, masculine, mature, leathery type of fragrance. And I think this is a great fragrance to wear this time of the year where we're fixing to transition from winter into spring. I think this would be perfect because you're going to have days where the temperature is 70, 75 and down as the day goes on, unless you're like most of us in the southeast or out west in Texas and places like that where the temperatures are already started to hit some 80s. But even still, it cools off at night, and I think this would be a great fragrance to wear in the evening. Or I also think it's a great fragrance to wear if you have maybe a job interview or something like that. It smells good enough to get the job done for that occasion, but it's not going to be one of those fragrances where everybody's just like, oh my God, what are you wearing? It's not gonna, disturb the piece. And that's a good thing because it's not gonna disturb anyone's sinuses or make anyone focus on the fact that he or she may think you have on too much cologne. I think this is one that will just slide right in. People will notice you and they will think you smell good, but they won't think you're trying too hard or doing too much. That's the point. Maybe even just a little bit of mintiness mixed in with that leather. But nonetheless, I think this is a nice, fresh, leathery type of scent. Great for a man like myself in his 40s. From the house of Burberry, it is Mr. Burberry. This next one is another one. I don't hear a lot of talk about this fragrance. I don't hear a lot of talk about this house. The house is one of my friend Sam Broom's favorites, and it is Cartier, and it is Pasha de Cartier. Now, the question that I want to ask you is this. Have you ever seen the Cartier name associated with anything that wasn't good? Precisely. So this is a good fragrance as well. Another thing about these fragrances is they smell masculine, they smell mature, they fit guys like us, but they don't smell old and they don't smell outdated and unwearable. Now this one, strong, masculine, barbershop type of fragrance. It just smells like a man that knows exactly what he wants out of life, exactly where he's going in life. Just beautiful scent. slightly barbershoppy, definitely masculine. If you know you're in your 40s or 30s and you have teenage sons running around, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about sharing this one. I don't think this bottle is gonna walk away. They may spray it once or twice, but they're not going to pick it up very often. Now, does that mean it doesn't smell good? No, it's the complete opposite of that. It smells really nice. It smells really nice. I like it. Again, maybe a little bit of a leathery vibe, definitely barbershop. That Mr. Burberry is getting a little bit fresher as it dries down on my skin. The leather is moving. I want to say that mintiness is kicking up just a little bit, but nonetheless, I still think that is a really good fragrance. If you have that one, you may want to consider dusting it off, especially with the time change coming up. Spring is fastly approaching us. I definitely think that's one you would want to wear. Now back to Cartier. Again, this just smells classy, sophisticated, gentlemanly, assuring, which is everything that I feel like we should be by the time we get to this age. We should have figured out some things. Not everything. We still don't have everything figured out, but some things we do. From the house of Cartier, it is Pasha de Cartier. All right, next up on this list, I think this is one of the best niche houses out there for price, performance, for everything you get. The house is Mancera. The fragrance is Black Line, and I like this scent. Oud. I mean, it's just it's oudy fragrance, and I think once you get to my age, you should have developed an ability to wear oud, whether you like it or not. Oud is a compliment-getting fragrance if worn properly. It's one you can't overspray. People say, well, I don't wear oud in the summertime. I think that's wrong. I think you can wear oud anytime you want to. I don't think you can spray 17 sprays of Black Line on and walk out the door and not choke yourself out. I think you have to spray 3 to 4, maybe 5 sprays of this in the summer or winter, and I think you're going to be just fine. Can you wear oud in the winter? Yes. Yes. If you only wear your oud fragrances in the winter, I totally get it. I totally understand it. But you have to understand, oud is a fragrance note used a lot in the Middle East, and they don't really have a whole lot of winter. So do you think that they would make a fragrance that they could only wear in cool climate? That doesn't make sense. So I'm saying that to say the people that manufacture these oud fragrances don't think of them as simply winter fragrances. Just saying. Now, I get it. I totally get it. I live in Alabama, so it definitely gets hot in the summertime. But again, this is one I would wear any time of the year, and it has a slight citrus note. If you're familiar with Lemon Line by Mancera, similar. This is Lemon Line with less lemon, more oud. And Lemon Line is this with more lemon or more citrus, less oud. So if you like Black Line and you think, man, it would be great with a little bit more citrus, then try Lemon Line. If you like Lemon Line and think, man, that would be great if it had a little bit something that made it more masculine, then try Black Line. But nonetheless, from the house of Mancera, basically what you get is an oud fragrance here with just a little bit of citrus running through the bottom of it to freshen it up, and it is a beautiful scent. I like this a lot. This could also be considered unisex. If it is not, it may be considered, but if not, it can be. From the house of Mancera, it is Black Line. This next one to me is just straight up unapologetic man juice. From the bottle, to the name, to everything about it, from the house of Tom Ford. And I love saying this name. It's one of my favorite names to say in Fragcom that I can say, and it's Beau de Jour. Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. And this one right here, silky smooth. Huh? This is smooth. This is smooth with 2 O's and a V. SMOOVE. Smooth. Say with me. Smooth. That's what this is, man. This is nice. This is nice. Again, you got a take on the classic barbershop fougere type of fragrance, but man, does it smell good? Tom Ford, Beau de Jour. Again, with this one, man, that's what you get. You get a fresh take on the barbershop fougere type of fragrance. Very easy to wear. Again, this is one I don't think you're going to see teenagers reaching for it. Maybe guys in their 20s, simply because they're going to recognize that it's Tom Ford and will reach for it. But definitely, man, that's good. Definitely us guys in our 40s. This is one of those fragrances I reach for on special occasions like my birthday or Christmas parties or something like that. And I know I'm going to be around a lot of older women, mature women. I reach for Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. But again, think barbershop, think fougere, with a very light but easy to wear type of vibe to it. Definitely doesn't smell dated, and it definitely doesn't come across as too much. Get your hands on that one. Alright, that's 4 down, 3 more to go. Next is one I have not had in my collection long at all. I have not even given it a wearing. I just picked this up from the homeboy, dear friend of mine, Mr. Keith Crook, aka Cheapo Depot, aka The Fragrant Life, and it is Versace's Man. And man, why oh why, Versace, did you discontinue this? Tobacco, barbershop. That's what you got with this one. It's a clean barbershop-y note with that hint of tobacco, and it is stunning. It's a stunning fragrance. This one is probably the most pricey fragrance on this list, simply because this has been discontinued for quite. At Burberry is doing its thing. That is a good smelling fragrance. It's a lot more complex than, okay, I'm gonna hit myself with this. Bam, just a squirt of that Versace. Oh man, that's good, guys. That's good. Again, think damp, sort of dusty cigar lounge, cigar bar type of vibe. That's good. Damp, dusty barbershop cigar bar is what I get from Versace, man. And this has been overshadowed by Man of Fresh, and I understand it. Man of Fresh is a beautiful fragrance, but Versace Man right here, man. That's just good. Or think it reminds me of a library as well. It reminds me of something that Mason Margiela and Replica would have put out. It's got that kind of vibe to it, man. This will be the most expensive one on the list because it's been, as me and the homie like to say, continued. It's discontinued, but it's one of those continued fragrances. So, but again, think smoky, dusty, damp library. And think of something from the house of Amouage, maybe, or something from the house of Histoire de Parfums. I think I said that right. Or Replica. Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, that's what it smells like. But it definitely smells good, man. Definitely smells good. Definitely one that I think us older guys should get our hands on and wear. From the house of Versace, One last time, Versace, man. I got 2 more. Let's do this one. And I've told you 1,000 times on this channel, don't bore her. Dior her. Dior Home 2020 batch. I like this. I like it. It smells good. Not as lipsticky. The iris is still there. Just a hint, a kiss of citrus. It's just a romantic, sexy fragrance. It embodies everything that a cologne should have. I just like it. I just like it. Again, my take on it is the lipstick is toned down in it. The iris is still there. Just a kiss of citrus done perfect, running through the bottom of it. Definitely one you need to get your hands on. Definitely one you need to get your hands on. From the house of Dior, it is Dior 2020. Dior Home 2020. And last but not least, the name of this fragrance alone represents what us guys should be at this age. From the house of Givenchy, it is Gentleman. Let me make sure I say this right. Gentleman ED Parfum. This is the parfum, not the parfum, but the EDP. Privé. And again, same theme with all of these. You're going to get a very, very clean, classy, gentlemanly feel. Gentleman is a great name for this fragrance. And I call this Privé. It's not Privé, it's Boise. That's what I was having to look at. You have to forgive me, these old eyes. Sometimes they play tricks on me. This is not Privé, this is Parfum Boise. I said, let me make sure I say it right, still said it wrong. But anyway, Boise. Isn't that a college? That's so funny. But what you get with this one, man, nonetheless, whether I mispronounce the name or not, what you get is a great fragrance. And another thing, all of these can really be worn right now. It is perfect for the picking. That Mr. Burberry is really doing his thing. That mint and that leather combination is really, really nice. Out of everything that I've sprayed on, it is really, really, really still in the show, so to speak. Really still in the show. Now, this one, again, you get a little bit of sweetness. I think that's leather that I pick up on. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of spice, a little bit of leather. It's a very chill fragrance. It's not going to be a monster performer. It's not going to be a monster projector. So when I say performance, that's what I mean. It's not going to be a monster projector. It may last 7 or 8 hours, but it's not going to project all the way across the room. In fact, none of these are. They're very gentlemanly fragrances that sit really close to the skin. And there's nothing at all wrong with that. I think people are going to smell you as you walk by, but yes, this one is a sweet, spicy fragrance. Nothing like Spice Bomb or anything like that. Again, it's very gentlemanly. It's very gentlemanly when I'm talking about Givenchy Gentleman Boise, which is an EDP concentration. All right, guys. And I love that bottle also. I think that's one that as it sits on my skin, the leather and the sweetness are gonna play together and make a really, really nice scent. But by the time that happens, I will be asleep because it's about 3 a.m. in the morning, up burning the candle at both ends. So I'm gonna get off of here and do a little bit of editing so you guys can have a video to watch Saturday, man. And again, thank you all so much for being the best part of this channel and for always supporting the channel. Also, always remember any of these fragrances can be purchased from me in a decant. I have 5 mil decants, and I will sell you a 5 mil of any of them. Prices will vary depending on which ones you want. So, and then, you know, that's only fair. But that money does go back into buying other stuff for the channel. Now, with that being said, again, I am going to get off of here and edit this and get it up to you so you guys can watch it. I hope everybody has a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. I think North Carolina and Duke play tomorrow in basketball, so that's going to be fun. But anyway, I hope everybody has themselves a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Take time out to enjoy yourself and do something for yourself. And again, thank you all for being the best part of this channel. Until next time, guys. Peace.